Yeah, Nod, he lost his dad before the starting of this film, and this guy Ronan, who's the head of the Leafmen, has kind of taken over, sort of raising Nod, and Nod's definitely reluctant to any kind of authority, and not like in a really rebellious way, but in more of a genuine, free-spirited, fun kind of guy, and he doesn't really realize how much responsibility he actually has and how important his job is to protect Mother Nature, and how he has to understand that if he doesn't do what the rest of the Leafmen are doing and work as a unit, then that's going to end up hurting not just himself but others. He doesn't really understand the scope of what he's doing. And throughout the story, he really learns a lot about himself and grows a lot as a character and realizes that in order to be a part of the Leafman the way that he should, he has to actually participate with the group. The Leafmen are these warriors that basically protect Mother Nature. They protect the Queen, who is kind of the one that runs all Mother Nature, and they're trying to protect her from the Boggans, the evil force within wilderness. They're very light on their feet. They're very kind of cricket-like. They can bounce around, and their fighting style is very swift and kind of samurai-like. They're very lightweight. They can fall from the top of a tree down to the ground on a leaf, and like a grasshopper can, because there's not much mass there. That doesn't really, they don't splat as easily. Yeah, they can ride birds. They're very talented at working with Mother Nature and kind of incorporating all the elements of the world into their fighting style. There's definitely tension there. There's tension because Ronan kind of has this idea of what Nod should be, and then Nod has an idea of what Nod should be, and those don't really align. And there's definitely a sense of responsibility that Ronan has to my dad, because my dad was one of his good friends, and when he passed away, Ronan took on the responsibility of raising Nod. And I feel like it's a type of relationship that a lot of people that can relate to. You know, when they kind of have a father figure that maybe they sort of butt heads with, they don't really see eye to eye on a lot of things with. But I think that throughout the story, Nod learns that the reason why Ronan does what he does is because he cares about Nod, and because he cares about the people, and he cares about Nod's dad. Well, not an MK first meet. There's definitely a little bit of a spark of something going on there. They're very different from one another. I mean, one's a human and one's a leaf man, so it's an entirely different world. So I think they're initially intrigued just by how different each other are. And then throughout the story, they learn from one another, and I think that Nod needed to learn a lesson of humility, and I think that he definitely learned some of that from MK, who kind of like knocks him back down to his size, so to speak. And yeah, so I think that throughout the story, you really see them grow and bond throughout the journey. They have to go through a lot. They go through a lot, and it's you know, tagging along. I mean, myself, Nod, and Ronan, they're warriors, so they know how things work. But Mub and Grub, which are two, you know, snails or slugs, they're definitely not the warrior type, and MK is a human. So they definitely all kind of have to band together, and they sort of help each other out. There are moments where, you know, Nod rescues MK, and MK helps Nod, and then the slugs end up saving Nod and MK together. So I mean, they definitely all are there for each other, and they use their strengths together to end up helping save the day. It's interesting because when you do an animated movie like this, you don't have the other actors there most of the time. Actually, we didn't have any actors there the entire time. But thankfully, Chris is also an actor and a voice actor, so having him there to kind of read with helped a lot. But yeah, it's a very different process than anything I've done before. Chris was very collaborative, and that's not something I was expecting. I was kind of expecting to go in, and because it was going to be animated, I thought that I was going to have to say exact lines, and I didn't even know if I was going to have the animation done and I voiced to that, or I didn't know how it worked. So to get to actually kind of adjust the scenes and sort of adjust the character dialogue based on what I felt as the character was a freedom that Chris gave me that was great to have. I think one of the big messages is many leaves, one tree. It's kind of like part of like the Leafmen slogan, so to say, and it's a great message. It's like, you know, we're all individual, but at the same time kind of fighting towards the same goal and wanting to achieve the same things.